I welcome all of you to our Bhagavad Gita class. We are on chapter 13. The objective of this class is to enable reading of the shlok, to understand the meaning of the shlok, and to help understand the basic philosophy of Gita. We are on chapter 13, Nature, the Enjoyer, and Consciousness. This section is divided to 6 sections. We have already covered the first 2 sections, and today we will since we missed the last class, so we'll try to revise from shlok number 1, and then we'll take from shlok number 8 to 12. That will be new in this class, right? So let us start with the summary of the last class. So the first slok is on Arjun's 6 questions and Krishna's answer to Kshetra, Kshetragya and Gyan. This is what we learned last time. So I would say, and please repeat after me. Arjunuvacha Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetragyameva Cha Etad Vetumikhyami Jnanam Gyeyam Cha Keshava. Arjunuvacha Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetragyameva Cha Etad Vedutumikhyami Jnanam Gyeyam Cha Keshava. Arjunuvacha Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetragyameva Cha Etad Vedutumikhyami Jnanam Gyeyam Cha Keshava. So now we are in the last section of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has got 18 chapters divided into 3 sections. The first section talks about Karma Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, a bit about Jnana Yoga. The middle sections talks about Bhakti Yoga, that's from 7th to 12th chapter, and the last section, which is from 13th to 18th, talks about the Jnana Yoga, and we have just started with the Jnana Yoga 13th chapter. And what Arjun is asking in this is Arjun Uvacha, is Arjun said. What does Arjun say? Arjun says Prakritim means nature. Purusham is the enjoyer. Who is the enjoyer of the nature? Chaiva Kshetram. What is the kshetra? What is the field of activity? Kshetragyam. Who is the knower of the field of activity? Etad vetum ikshami. Ikshami is I desire to hear, know about it. Jnanam, Gyeyam, cha Keshava. O Keshav, O Krishna, I want to know about Gyan and Geya. What is knowledge? And Geya, what are the objects of knowledge? So here in this slok, Arjun asks 6 questions to 6 things he wants to know from Krishna. What is Prakriti, which is what is nature? What is Purusham, who is the enjoyer? What is Kshetram? What is the Kshetra? It is the field of activity. Kshetragya, who is the knower of the field of activity? What is knowledge? What is Gyan? And what is Geya? What is the object of knowledge, right? So let us read the English translation. Arjun said, Oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, and the field and the knower of the field, and of knowledge and the object of knowledge. Right? So we go to the next shlok. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetram Itya Vidhiyate Etadyo Veti Tam Prahu Kshetragya Iti Tadvidah. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetram Iti Abhidhiyate Etadyo Veti Tam Prahu Kshetragya Iti Tadvidah. Adachi. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetram Iti Abhidhiyate Etadyo Veditam Prahu Kshetragya iti tadvidha. So Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So who is Bhagavan? Krishna. So Krishna says, what do you say? Idam Shariram. Idam means this. Sharir is this body. Kaunteya. Kaunteya is Arjun. Kunti's son is Kaunteya. Arjun, Kshetram. So what is Kshetram? Kshetram is this body. Kshetra is the field. So the field of activity is this body. Iti vidhiyate. Etadyo veti tam prahu. Prahu is called. And someone who veti is know. Someone who knows about this body, Kshetragya iti tadvida. And Kshetragya is knower of that field. Kshetragya is so someone who understands about this body, that this body is different than me, that is called Kshetragya. That is what Krishna replies. So let us read the English translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called the field. And one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. So the question that we talked about in detail last time was, why Krishna is talking of calling this body as Kshetra? Or why this body is called Kshetra? Kshetra is basically field, right? So the way in a field, what happens? The farmer, whatever he sows in that field, accordingly we get the crops, or accordingly the output of that field happens. If the farmer sows a neem seed, then we will get neem plants. If he is sowing a mango seed, we will get mango tree. So it all depends upon the farmer, whatever he is going to sow in that field, accordingly whatever is sowed in that field, accordingly the activity will happen, right? Now since similarly in this body is the madhyam, it's a medium through which we do activity, right? So whatever karma is done by this body, accordingly will be our reaction, right? Accordingly will be our reaction. Accordingly we'll have to either enjoy the fruits or suffer for the food. So it is all our karma, right? That is why this body is called the field of activity, because through this body only we do the activity. And that karma is not only for this life, it is by through various lives. Whatever karma we would have done, we will suffer accordingly in, or enjoy accordingly in our present life, right? So that is why Krishna calls this body as a field of activity. And then he says, and who is the knower? It is the soul who understand that this is just a material body and I am different. So basically someone who knows about this body is the Kshetragya, is the knower, right? Now we go to the next shlok, 13.3. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata क्षेत्रज्ञयोर ज्ञानम यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रज्ञयोर ज्ञानम तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम. क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रज्ञयोर ज्ञानम यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम. Krishna says it is not the knower. Kshetragya is who knows who is the soul, who knows about that body. Yeah, knows about that body, soul. That is the Kshetragya. But he says Kshetragyam cha api mam vidhi. Vidhi is, but know that it is not only the soul who knows about the body. Even me, mam, cha api mam. I am also. Api is also. Mam is me. I am also Kshetragyam. I am also the Jnani of the body. But unlike the soul who knows only about that particular body, Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata, oh Bharat, oh Arjun, I know about all the bodies. I know I am the super soul. I'm not only the soul, I am the super soul sitting inside the body of each and every living entity. Because I not only know about that body, but I know about Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. Oh Bharat, oh Arjun, I know about all the bodies because I am situated in that body as super soul. Kshetra Gyor Jnanam. And then Krishna defines what is Gyan, what is knowledge. So, what is knowledge? Kshetra Gyor Jnanam. Where someone who knows about this body and about the Kshetragya, the soul and the super soul, what is the relation between them, who they are, why they behave the way it is, whatever relations, that someone who understands is knowledge. What is knowledge? It is Kshetra and Kshetragya. Knowledge about the field of the activity, that is body. Kshetragya means the soul and the super soul. And the super soul. Someone who knows about all this is Gyan, is knowledge. Yatyaj Jnanam Matam Mama. Mama is me, Matama. In my opinion, Matam Mama is in my opinion, that is Jnanam. Someone who understands all these things is Jnanam, right? And we talked about the king. The farmer only knows about his field, but the king knows about all the fields in his area. So he is like the super soul who understands about everything, right? Now we go to the next slok. Takshetram yachya yad vikari yataschayat स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च तत्समासेन मे शृणु तच्छेत्रं यच्यादिक्च यद्विकारी यतश्च यत् स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च तत्समासेन मे शृणु माताजी तच्छेत्रं यच्यादिक्च यद्विकारी यतश्च यत् स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च तत्समासेन मे शृणु. Now Krishna says, if you look at the fourth shlok, the last part of it, tat samasena me shunu. Tat samasen means summary. Samasen means summary. Me is from me. Shunu is here. So now in summary, I'll tell you. So what is he going to tell in summary? He's going to talk about 4 things about the body and 2 things about soul. What is the 4 things he's going to talk about body? That kshetram, that kshetra, of that kshetra. What? 4th thing is yach, yadikcha, yad vikari, yatascha. This is the 4th thing that he's going to talk about the body. Yach means what is, how is the body constituted? What is it made up of? What is the body made up of is yach. Yach is what is it made up of? Yadikcha is what are the qualities of the body? Yad vikari. Vikari is changes. What are the things that changes the body? And yadascha is how it is produced. And then he says, yat sa. Sa means va. Va means soul. And I'll also tell you 2 things about the Kshetragya. What? That who's yadascha means who is that? Who that knower of the field of activity is. And yat prabhavascha. Yat prabhav means what is the influence of that soul. Understood? So this is what Krishna is going to talk about in detail, in summary from now onwards. Okay, these are the 4 things about body and 2 things about soul is what he will explain. So now we go to 5th shlok. ऋषिभिर् बहुधा गीतम् छन्दोभिर् विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्र पदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतम्
ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतम्
छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक्
छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक्
ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव
ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव
हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः
हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतम्
ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतम्
छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक्
छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक्
ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव
ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः. Now Krishna says, Rishibhir Bahuda Geetam. Rishibhir Bahuda. Bahuda is many rishis, sages have talked. Geetam as have sung about it. Have sung about it means have talked about the what are the qualities of the body, what is that made up of, what are the changes in the body, who the knower is, what is the prabhav of that, has been spoken by many great sages. Then it says Chandobhir. Chandobhir means the Vedas. Vividhai Prathak. Vividhai means many different types. Prathak means different types. Even the Vedas is explained about that in multiple ways. Brahma Sutra Padai. Brahma Sutra is Vedanta Sutra. And in the what do you call it? In the paras of padas of Vedanta Sutra, also these things have been described. And not only just described, it has also been talked about Hetumadbhir Vinishadi, with all the reasoning of cause and effect. So it has been already detailed into multiple places. Yeah. So let's read the English translation. That knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of the activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. It is specially presented in Vedanta Sutra. With all reasonings as to cause and effect. Right. Now we go to the 6th and 7th shlok. महाभूतान्य अहंकारो बुद्धिर अव्यक्तमेव च इंद्रियाणि दशैकं च पंचचेन्द्रिय गोचरः महाभूतान्य अहंकारो बुद्धिर अव्यक्तमेव च इंद्रियाणि दशैकं च पंचचेन्द्रिय गोचरः. माताजी. महाभूतानि अहंकारो बुद्धिर अव्यक्तमेव च इंद्रियाणि दशैकं च Panchachendriya Gochara. So now in the 6th slok, Krishna is talking about what is our body. Yach. Yach means what is how the body is constituted, what this body is made up of. He says Mahabhutan. What are the Mahabhuta? Mahabhuta are the 5 great elements. What are the 5 great elements? Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Right? So these are the 5 great elements. He says Mahabhutan. Then he says Ahankaro. Ahankar is your ego, false ego. Buddhir. Buddhir is intelligence. Buddhir is intelligence. Avyaktamev. Avyakta means Avyakta is something which is not manifested. What is not manifested? That is the modes of material nature, which is the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. They are in the unmanifested stage in the body unless the soul enters the body, right? Till then it is there, but unless the soul enters, it remains unmanifested. Only when the soul consciousness is there, then only they all get manifested. So, and then avyaktameva cha indriyani dashaikam cha. Indriyani is the sense organs. What are the sense organs? Dash and ekam. Dash, there are 10 sense organs and ekam. Ekam is the mind. So what are the 10 things? So we have, what are the 10 indriyas? We have karmendriya, and jnanendriya. From jnanendriya, we get the senses, and for karmendriya, we do our work. So what is the jnanendriya? It is eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and touch, skin.
Touch skin.
Yeah, so this is the Gyanendriya. And what is the work from which we do the work? It is our hands, it is our leg, it is our tongue, and it is our anus and genitals. So these are the five things from which we do the activity. And the 11th one is mind. So the 11 plus we have already counted 7. That is 17. And then say panch. And after that there are 5. Chendriya gochara. Cha indriya gochara. Indriya gochara means the objects for which the sense the Gyanendriya enjoys. So what are those? For example, what does eye see? The objects of sense organs. What is the eye see? Eye sees the form. When you have eyes, you can recognize the forms, right? From ears, we listen to the sound, right? From the tongue, we do the tasting, right? Then from nose, we smell, and from skin, it is touch. So these are the 5 things we have. So this is what are the 24 elements. These are the 24 elements that we have. So let us read the English translation. The 5 great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, and the mind, the 5 sense objects. So these are the 24 elements that actually make the body. These are the 24 elements that make the body. Yeah, and body without soul is dead body. It doesn't have a consciousness, then it is just like a dead body, right? So these are the 5 elements that make the kshetra. And then he continues with that. He says, Iksha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham, Sanghatas, Chetana, Dhritihi, Etat Kshetram Samasena, Savikaram Udahitam, Iksha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham, Sanghatas, Chetana, Dhritihi, Etat Kshetram Samasena, Savikaram Udahitam. Now we talked about, Krishna had talked about in the 4th slok. I'm going to talk to you about the qualities. I'm going to talk about how the body yach is, how the body is constituted. Then he said yaditya, which is what are the qualities, and yad vikara. Vikara the changes. So here he's talking about the other 2. So he's saying if you look at the 7th slok, the last part, samasena savikaram udahitam. Samasena is in summary. I'm going to talk about the vikars. Why does there the vikars, the changes happen? He says iksha, because of our desires. Dvesha is hatred, envy. Sukh, happiness. Dukh, distress. Sanghatas, chetana is our consciousness. Dhriti is determination. Etat kshetram, because when all these things actually interact with the body, when all these things interact with the body, then what will happen? There are changes. So let us read the English translation, which is, let's start from here. Desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and convictions. All these are considered, in summary, to be the field of activities and its interactions. So we had done till here in the last class, right? So let me start with today's chapter. So today Krishna is going to talk now from 8th slok to 12th slok. Krishna is going to talk about Gyan, right? So it is Gyan, the process of acquiring knowledge. So Krishna is also talking about what is the process of acquiring knowledge. Yeah. So let us read the 8th slok. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham स्थैर्यम आत्मविनिग्रह अमानित्वम अदम्भित्वम अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम आचार्योपासनम शौचम स्थैर्यम आत्मविनिग्रह. माता जी.
Amanitvam adambitvam.
Amanitvam adamritvam.
Ahimsa shantir arjavam.
Ahinsa shantirarjavam.
Acharyopasanam saucham.
Acharyopasanam shocham.
Yam atma vinigraha.
Sairyam atma vinigraha. So here Krishna is going to talk about that what are the qualities that is needed for someone to get knowledge, right? What are the qualities that someone is needed to get knowledge, right? What is the process of, right? Now, first question is, what is knowledge? What is knowledge? Now, in the material world, how we define knowledge? Knowledge is someone who has done, B.Tech, M.Tech, PhD, someone who would have done, a medicine, or someone who would have engineering. So all these things, as per we say, how much, you have done a qualification, achieve qualification. That's what he say. He's so knowledgeable. That is how, and we also talk about how much salary they get. Accordingly, we think that the person is very knowledgeable, and so this is the way material on the material plane we think about knowledge. But Krishna here from 8th to 12, he explains that what is knowledge. He'll talk about that. What is the how can someone gain? What are the characteristics of a person who can get knowledge? And he'll explain what is the knowledge. And then he says that in the last stroke, 12th stroke, he will say, I define all these things as knowledge. And if anything apart from that is all ignorance. So let us see from Krishna's perspective, what is the who is eligible to get knowledge and what is knowledge. So in the third stroke, Krishna has explained that what is Gyan. Gyan is someone who knows about kshetragya. That is what is the body of activities, field of activity, the soul, super soul, all the relation. If someone understands, it is Gyan, right? And why does Krishna says that? And why does Krishna is explaining like that? If you remember in the 9th chapter, the second stroke that we read, Krishna has said, Raj Vidya Rajguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam. He has said that this knowledge of Gita, what he's talking about, this knowledge is Raj Vidya. It is the king of all knowledge. He has explained that knowledge, the knowledge of Gita, as the highest knowledge. Why has he talked about the knowledge of Gita as highest knowledge? As the knowledge of soul is the highest knowledge? Because whatever knowledge you get in this world, what is happening? The material knowledge can only help you to get more money, or it will put us in more entanglement because of the activity. Because if though with those that knowledge that we are gaining, if we are using that knowledge to gratify our senses, if we are going to enjoy our senses using that knowledge, then what is happening? We are actually getting entangled in this world. But what do you want? We need to know that this soul that we have is actually stuck in this cage, which we call as a body. The soul which we have is actually stuck in this body of 24 elements that we talked about. And what is the real knowledge? The real knowledge is something which can help this soul to get freed. Krishna has also explained in the 15th chapter that this soul that we have, that is there in this body, encaged in this body, is actually Mamai Vansho Jiva Loke Jiv Bhuta Sanatana. He says that this soul is is my Ansha. It is this soul is my part, and it is eternal. It is not like this body which will perish. It is eternal. And because of our desires, because of our envy, because of our behavior of enjoying this material nature, what is happening? We are getting entanglement in this world, and we are not getting free. That's why we are not able to get liberated, right? So that knowledge, whatever knowledge we get in this universities, they talk about whatever knowledge is being talked about, that will not help us to know about the knowledge of soul. And unless someone knows about the knowledge of soul and works for something which is actually good for the soul, so that the soul can get liberated, then only that is real knowledge, right? So Krishna says that is why, so that is a real knowledge which can help the soul to get free from this encaged body, right? So he says, to get this knowledge, what is the characteristics? He says Amanityam. Amanityam. Aman is what? There's a first in this slok, 8th slok, Krishna has talked about 9 qualities, and total from 8th to 12 we will read about 20 qualities that he has defined, and he says that these are the characteristics that if someone has, then that person is eligible to get that knowledge. And once that is, it can get that knowledge, and once you get that knowledge, then you can actually become free, you can get liberated. So the first thing he says is amanityam. Amanityam is aman. Aman is what is samman? Samman means honor, and apman is dishonor, and aman is I don't care about honor and dishonor, which is humility. First is humility, humbleness, and humbleness or humility where you're not looking for honor and dishonor. You are equal in honor and dishonor. For the person is very humble, and honor and dishonor doesn't matter to the person, because if you want to get honor, then what is happening? You are actually getting entangled in this world, and any dishonor is going to affect you, right? But when you are beyond the beyond the what do you call it, beyond that stage where you want honor and dishonor, you'll be very humble, and if someone honors you, you thank Krishna, that because of you I could do it. Who am I without you? Right? That is the state when you are in. You are so humble that you are not craving for that, but it doesn't matter to you, and you are actually, if someone praises you, then you are thanking the gurus, you are thanking Krishna, that because of you I could get it. I don't have it. So when you are at that state, then you are actually eligible for knowledge. Amanityam. Got it? Then so now what is, so there's a story, Amanityam. So there was some, normally, so there's a story about a great scholar called Keshav Kashmiri. I'd like to tell you about that story. So once what happened in olden times, the way we play different games and have a competition of cricket competition and other competition, in olden times the competition used to be more on it used to be debate on your intellectual level. Yeah. And then those who were, like, considered to be great pundits, what they used to do, they want to prove themselves to be great pundits. They used to actually declare, they used to go around the country and getting and debate with the intellectuals of that state or that city, whoever are known, and then after they win over the other person, they will actually go to the next. That's how they used to do. Now, Keshav Kashmiri was a very, very famous intellectual pandit. And what he used to do is, he was so proud of his knowledge, he used to go around, and when he used to defeat someone in debate, he used to go and ask the person to sign that, just to prove that, oh, I have won it. So similar, what happened, he actually heard about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was at that point of time around 15 years of age, and his name was Nimai. His name was Nimai. His kid, as a child, his name was Nimai, and he was staying in Navadvip. Navadvip, where the Ganga is flowing, and that is a village where he was staying. And then Keshav Kashmiri came to know about Nimai. He heard that, there's some intellectual child there, and he's just 15 years of age. So he came to Navadvip. Now, a lot of pandits who used to actually, Nimai used to work along with them, they hearing that Keshav Kashmiri is coming, he left that place and they went out of that, because no one wanted to get defeated by him. So then he came looking for Nimai and said, "Oh, I have heard that you're an intellectual person." So he says, you are such a elderly person, and I'm such a child. I'm such a just 14, 15 years old. So there's no comparison between you and me. So why do you want to have a debate with me? He says, no, no, no. I have heard about your glory, so I want to also have a debate with you. He said, fine. If you want to have a debate with me, fine. I mean, you are so great. I would really like you to talk about why don't you, this Ganga is flowing here. This is a beautiful, we all sacred river. Why don't you compose something on the river Ganges? And Keshav Kashmiri immediately started, creating, saying poem about, he started composing poem on Ganga standing there itself, and whatever he was composing, it went for 1 hour and kept on composing. And Nimai was listening intently to all the things that he was speaking. And when he finished with all the puffed up behavior, he looked at Nimai. And Nimai, so he says he really appreciated Keshav Kashmiri a lot, and then said that, it was very, very beautiful. You have given such a beautiful description of Ganga. He says, yeah. And how did you find it? He says everything was fine. There are some small mistakes that, some small corrections we could make. He says, corrections, how? Then he said, you said actually Bhavani Bhartum. You said Bhavani Bhartum. And actually Bhavani is, you meant Shankar. But Bhavani itself, Bhav is Shankar and Bhavani is Durga. But when you say Bhavani Bhartum, is basically Shiva's, Durga's again husband. So Durga doesn't have two husbands, only Shiva. So it should not be Bhavani Bhartum, but should be only Bhavani. And Keshav Kashmiri, he realized his grammatical error, and he really felt extremely horrified at how can a 15 years old child can defeat him. And then he went back and he was like, he could not accept his humiliation. He felt so humiliated that, he was not at all at peace. And finally, when he was actually arguing with Saraswati that, how could you do that with a small lad? You made me lose. And then when he slept, the Saraswati ji came in his dream and said that you have lost none other but then from, it's an avatar of Krishna, that you should be happy. So then he came back and he became a disciple of, he requested to be a disciple of Nimai. So some people who are puffed up, they from knowledge they actually get puffed up, and that is actually cause of their downfall. Yeah. So amanityam, adambitvam. Adambitvam means pridelessness. The person should not have any pride, because if you are, what will happen? Pride will lead to a downfall. If you are proud of your possession, the possessions are temporary and it will go. And the day it goes, you will actually be broken. So to have the qualities is, you should be prideless. This is one of the quality that the person should have, right? Then ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-violence. Now, what is non-violence? Non-violence is, we talk for us, non-violence is basically don't kill animals, don't fight, right? But then it is just not killing animals or fighting, but it is not putting anyone else in distress. Because of you, other person is not put in distress. If that behavior you can have, like, when many times, there are people, when they come, when they enter the place, everyone becomes like, inattention. So what is happening? They are putting stress on the people around. Yeah. Yeah, because they feel that they are too good, or too, so they actually, they are indirectly, they are insulting or they are devaluing others. So you should, the quality is, the person should be such loving, such caring, that it is because of that person there is no distress in the around you. Yeah, that is the quality that someone should have. Shantir. Shantir is Shanti is peace, but Shanti is tolerance. Tolerance is an extremely very, very important characteristics for someone to grow spiritually. Now, why tolerance? Why tolerance is such an important characteristics? Because what is the meaning of tolerance? Tolerance means capability of bearing insults and dishonor. Yeah, even if someone is scolding you, even if someone is shouting at you, although you are not at fault, but the person is shouting at you, and the person who is being shouted at keep quiet and tolerates. So what has happened? That is a quality that will actually help the person to grow spiritually. Yeah, because normally what happens, if someone shouts at you, you shout back. Yeah. That is a normal tendency. Someone shouts and you shout back. So what is happening? You are actually becoming angry. And anger, whenever there's anger, there's a downfall. Whenever there's an anger, you are still not mature enough to grow spiritually. So anger, envy, they are the causes for which will, when you have this, one can never grow spiritually. One can never grow spiritually. So the important quality for Krishna explains that if you know what are the elements of knowledge, very, very important is tolerance. You should be capable of bearing insults and dishonor. Although you may not be actually responsible for it, but if you can still, what do you call it, still tolerate it, can accept it, and also forgive the person who has been have been shouting at you, scolding you. Yeah, if you can do that, if that characteristics you have, then it's said that the soil, you need a soil for a plant to grow. You need the right soil for the plant to go. So that is the quality of the soil that is needed for that plant to grow, bhakti to grow, or for someone to spiritually progress. So very, very important is tolerance. Sometimes, so because when you can actually let go, because when you let go, when you forgive, you are at peace, and when you are at peace, you know how to be at peace, then only you can grow spiritually. Sometimes we see that in either the husband or the wife, they have many times it can happen, they have a behavior of putting the other person down or shouting at the person. Then the person should see that situation as a blessing in disguise. Because what happens, when such a behavior is of the spouse, then what will happen, you cannot have a loving relation with the spouse. When someone is always scolding you, shouting at you, although you are not at fault, then what will happen, you cannot have a loving relation. So such situation, the person should think that maybe because of my past karma I am going through all this thing. Let me forgive this person, and what I should do is I should actually cultivate a relation with Krishna, and hold to Krishna, and strengthen your relationship with Krishna. When you do that, because Krishna is watching everything, yeah. So what will happen, you will grow spiritually. So this is, to me, it's a blessing in disguise for the person who is tolerating it, isn't it? Now, there's a story of we know about Prahlad. Prahlad was just 5 years old. So imagine, he was what he was. He was a Vishnu Bhakta, and his father Hiranyakashyap, what he did whatever he could to kill Prahlad, isn't it? He threw him from the mountain. But then Prahlad was always tolerant, accepting whatever his father was doing, but always remembering Krishna. And then Krishna comes to save him. Nasimha comes to save him. So that is what the tolerance is important. Then Arjama. Arjama is simplicity. When you are simple, nothing matters. You can when you are simple, then what will happen? You don't have to show off. So it is always, it's okay. This is how I am. Your simplicity will help you to again grow. Your attention is not divided into material things. You are simple, and you have a nice relationship with Krishna. Then Acharya Upasanam. Acharya Upasanam is Upasana of Guru. So it's very, very important to grow spiritually, is that you should have a guru. Because always remember, to understand Krishna, to understand God, you have to hear, and you have to hear the right things. You have to understand your scriptures. Someone may think that I'll read the scripture and I'll know it, but to understand the scripture, you need a guru who can help you to understand it. Right? So it's very, very important to have the guru, and not only having the guru, but also serve the guru, and also be surrendered to the guru, because the guru knows. And only when the guru feels that you have these qualities to accept what knowledge you are giving, then only the guru will speak. Then only the guru will speak. The guru will not speak to XYZ person who are too much puffed up, thinks I know everything, who are you? They will not speak. But when you understand, when you have all this quality, and you want to understand how to get liberated, then the guru will help you to get liberated. Then Shaucham. Shaucham is cleanliness. Cleanliness is internal as well as external. So this internal and external. So we know a very famous shlok. Whenever we do any yagya or anything, we can't take bath and we have to do something. So the very famous shlok that we know is Om Pavitra Pavitro Va Sarvastha Gato Piva Yas Marante Pundarikaksha Sa Bhaya Bhayanta Shuchi. Right? So this shlok is anytime when you are traveling in a train, you can't take bath, but you want to take, you want to do some religious work. So what do? You can just read this shlok and then you get cleaned. Now it says, Yes, Marante Pundari Kaksha. Pundari Kaksha means the is Krishna. Pundari Kaksha. Pundari is lotus, and Kaksha is who's a lotus-eyed one. That is, Pundari Kaksha is the name of Krishna. So just by smarana, just by remembering Pundari Kaksha, what happens? You get cleaned. Yeah, it means you are actually from a Vedic terms, you are actually now pavitra. Not only you, but also you can pavitra your home or any place that you want to by just chanting this mantra. So what happens is, so imagine just by chanting the name of Pundrikaksha, you becomes clean. So shocham is very, very important. Internal and external. External is by taking bath, and internal is by chanting the name of Krishna. So we say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So the more you chant, the more clean you become internally, and the more you become clean internally, your just like the soil for the plant, your heart becomes purer, and when the heart becomes purer, it becomes clear for you to understand the spiritual knowledge. It becomes capable of understanding the spiritual knowledge. So shocham, sthairyam is basically steadiness. So you have to have determination in the path of spiritual knowledge. What happens? You will be, oh, what are you doing? Why are you wasting time? You will be told a lot of times that, okay, forget it, so much work is pending, and why are you, even you may feel like sleeping, you may not feel like working, is chanting. So you have to be determined that no, I have to do it. So you have to have a strong determination, then only you can progress in the spiritual path. And finally, self-control. And self-control means, what is self-control? Self-control is always assess whatever you're doing, always remember one statement: anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam. It means whatever you're doing, if you think that is going to take you towards Krishna, that is, do it. But anything that you're doing which will take you away from Krishna, don't do it. That should be the decision point that you should have in your life to see whether you are growing spiritually or not growing spiritually. Anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, right? So that is what the self control means. All your senses, anything that you're doing, that should be the focus of your actions, right? So these are the these are the 9 qualities that Krishna explains in the 8th slok. Let's read it in let's read the translation by Srila Prabhupada. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, and self-control. Yeah, so these are the 9 qualities. So now Krishna is talking about from 8th to 12th about 20 qualities, and in the 8th slok Krishna talks about the 9 qualities that one must have for spiritual knowledge, for getting the gyan. Yeah. And in Shikshashtakam is something which is written by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has given in the 3rd verse of Shikshashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has written, Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishna, Amanina Manadena, Ketan Sadahari. He says, who can actually do the chanting, or who is the one who can actually chant for long, or can approach the Lord? And for that, the characteristics that is needed is Trinadapi Sunichena. You have to be as humble as a blade of grass. Everyone steps on the grass and moves forward, and the grass still just keeps on doing the work, right? So Trinadapi Sunichena, you have to be as humble as a blade of glass. Yeah. Tarorapi Sashna, and you should be as tolerant as the tree. Tree is always standing, whether it is sun, whether it is snow, whether it is rain. Yeah, it is standing there and doing its work. Still, after all those things, when you go under the tree, you will get shade, and it will also give you sweet fruits to eat. Yeah, it will always help you. So tarorapi sarshna. So actually, if you really to grow spiritually and to be able to chant and to be closer to Krishna, to walk in the spiritual path, the characteristics that you should have is trinadapi sunichana. You have to be as what do you call it, as humble as the blade of grass, and as tolerant as a tree. Amanina manadena, those who do not deserve honor. Still, they may be dishonoring you, they may be insulting you, they may be doing whatever they are doing bad for you. Doesn't matter. From your heart, always forgive them. Always think that okay, this must be the reaction of some karma I would have done. But from your side, you should always give them man. You should always give them samman. You should always give them honor. So you should always honor them. If so, these are the characteristics by which you can always Kirtanya Sadahari. You can always remember the name of Lord, right? And we go to the next slok, 9th. Indriyartheshu vairagyam.
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम्
Anhankara evacha.
अनहङ्कार एव च
Janma mrityu jara vyadhi.
जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि
Dukkha doshanudarshanam.
दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्
Indriyartheshu vairagyam.
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम्
Anahankara evacha.
अनहङ्कार एव च
Janma mrityu jara vyadhi.
जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि
Dukkha doshanudarshanam.
दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्
Mataji.
इन्द्रियार्थेषु
Indriyartheshu
वैराग्यम्
vairagyam. Ahankara evacha. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. Dukkha doshanudarshanam. So now after 9th, the 10th one is Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Indriyartheshu means Indriya is your senses, Artheshu is the objects for which the senses enjoy. So what that we have to vairagya, we have to renunciate, we have to, if you engage your senses in enjoyment, then you are actually, one gets entangled, the soul gets entangled to the body. So what we have to do is, we have to renunciate, we have to have a vairagya there. Anahankara. Anahankar is again pridelessness. If you have ahankar is what? Ahankar is basically false ego. Ahankar is your false ego. What is false ego? False ego is thinking that the soul and body is one. Not understanding that soul is different. Soul is basically the part and parcel of Krishna, and this body is the dress that the soul is wearing. Not having that understanding is ahankar, right? Identifying with the body. But what is the real thing? Knowing that the soul has to get liberated that is the real ego. And false ego is understanding that we are one, but understanding that soul is different and we have to liberate that, and body is different, that is real ego. Ahankara evacha. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. Janma is birth, mrityu is death, jara is old age, vyadhi is disease. So what is the dukkha that, so we think if we get some problem in our material life, we think that is our pain. They are not pain. The actual pain that we are all, the miseries that we are going through is the birth and death. Because we have taken birth, that is why we are suffering. If we can liberate ourselves, and how we can liberate ourselves? By attaching ourselves to Krishna, chanting Krishna's name and attaching, then you will not get birth. Krishna says, if you do that, I will take care of you. And when Krishna starts taking care of you, why should you bother? Just like Prahlad, right? Just like Dhruv, isn't it? So Krishna says, so these are our real miseries, the Jan, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, and then so we should be away from that. So let's read the translation. Renunciation of the objects of sense gratification.
Renunciation of the objects of sense gratification.
Absence of false ego.
Absence of false ego.
The perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease.
The perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease.
These are the causes of distress, right? Are the causes of distress. We go to the next shlok, 10th shlok. Asaktir anabhishvangaha.
Asaktir anabhishvangaha.
Putradara grihadishu.
Putradara grihadishu.
Nityam cha samachittatva.
Nityam sa samachittatvam.
Ishta anishtopapatishu.
Ishta nashtopapatishu.
Asaktir anabhishvangaha.
Asaktir anabhishvangaha.
Putradara grihadishu.
Putradara grihadishu.
Nityam cha samachittatvam.
Nityam sa samachittatvam.
Ishta anishtopapatishu.
Ishta anishtopapatishu. Asaktir anavishwanga.
Asaktir anabhishwangah.
Putradara grihadishu.
Putradara grihadishu.
Nityam cha samachittatvam.
Nityam cha samachittatvam.
Istanishto papatishu.
Ishta anishto papattishu. So Krishna here explains asakti. Asakti means detachment. Asakti means attachment. Asakti means detachment. So very important is in the previous talk we talked about renunciation of sense objects. Here the Krishna says asakti is you should not have attachment. Attachment to whom? Attachment. Then anabhishwangam. What is anabhishwanga? Anabhishwanga is freedom from entanglement. From whom? Putra, children. Dar is wife. Grihadishu. Grihadishu means from your home. So basically Krishna says that you should have detachment from your children, your spouse, your home. Now very, very important. Detachment doesn't mean that you go away from home and sit in a solitude and start your lives there. No, that doesn't mean. Detachment means do your responsibility. You have husband, you have to take care of your husband. Whatever responsibility you have for your children, you have to do your, but do it without attachment. Do it as a sense of duty. Do it as a sense of duty, but not attachment, because as soon as you are attached, you are entangled. As soon as you are attached, you are entangled. Krishna doesn't say attachment. Detachment means you run away from there. No, no, no. If you are running away, then you are actually not doing your duty. Then you are not doing your duty. Your duty is to serve your husband, serve your children, serve your family, take care of your home, take whatever your duty is, take care of your relative, whatever is your duty, you must do it. But do it with detachment, so that if something happens, you do not get affected by it. You should understand that is because of the karma. You should understand it is because of the karma. That is what is asakti. Krishna means here detachment by, so that you don't get entanglement. If you are in that state, then only you can spiritually progress. Then only you can spiritually progress. Otherwise, you will be entangled. Then nityam cha samachittatvam. Nityam is always cha. Samachittatvam is equal. Equal to what? Ishta anishta abhata. It means pleasant and unpleasant events. We have also read, so whether it's pleasant thing or unpleasant things, you be equi-minded. It should not impact you. It means if you are attached, it will affect you. If something breaks and you feel, oh, what happened? It means you are attached to that. If something breaks, things are there to be broken. Fine. Yeah, isn't it? So then you are so strong that you understand that what exactly, that who am I, and you want to get liberated. But if you get attached to the person, then basically you are entangled, and when you are entangled, then you cannot get you cannot move progress in the spiritual path, right? So let us read what Krishna says. Detachment, freedom from entanglement, with children, spouse, home and the rest, even-mindedness, amid pleasant and unpleasant events. Yeah, so these are the qualities, these are the elements of knowledge. So Krishna explains all these as elements of knowledge, and he says only when you have that, then you will be able to understand or move forward in the understanding absolute truth, right? Then we go to the next slok. मयि चानन्य योगेन भक्तिर अव्यभिचारिणी विविक्त देश सेवित्वम् रतिर्जन संसदि मयि चानन्य योगेन भक्तिर अव्यभिचारिणी विविक्त देश सेवित्वम् रतिर्जन संसदि. Now here the 16th one, he says the most important one, Mai Chananya Yogena. Yeah, Mataji, please repeat. Mai Chananya Yogena Bhaktir Avyabhicharini Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Ratir Jana Sansidi. So Krishna says, Mai Chananya Yogena. Very, very important is, what is Ananya Yogena Bhaktir? Krishna says bhakti. Bhakti to whom? Bhakti how? What is the quality of bhakti? Ananya yogena. One pointed attention, one pointed devotion towards whom? Mai, towards Krishna. So he says, if you want to get liberated, what do you need? You need bhakti. And what sort of bhakti you need? Ananya yogena. You have to be connected. Yoga is basically connection. Okay, how? What sort of connection? Ananya means undivided attention. You have to be one pointed attention to the devotional service to Mai. Mai is who? Krishna. So if you are doing that, Avyabhicharini is also basically praying to Krishna. So it is a total devotion to Krishna. If you are following that, Vivakta Desha Sevitvam. Vivakta is basically an aspiring to live in a solitary place and detachment and Ratil Jana Sansadi. From the general mass, you are detached. When you have these characteristics, then you are actually qualified to move forward in the spiritual path. Right? Okay, so we read the translation. Constant and unalloyed devotion to me.
Constant and unalloyed devotion to me.
Aspiring to live in solitary place.
Aspiring to live in a solitary place.
Detachment from the general mass of people.
Detachment from
Again, detachment from the general mass of people means, when we mix with people who are of different nature, then what will happen, like you want to actually, you if you want to grow spiritually, the association that you should have is also of the people who also believe in bhakti and also growing forward in bhakti. But if you are associating with people who want to go to cinema always, who wants to go to party always, what will happen? You'll get distracted. So from a general mass means those people whose behavior is of more or towards material nature and they want to enjoy the material. You have to have a separate, you don't have to engage with them, because it's time to give time to Krishna so that you can move grow spiritually, right? And again, living in a solitary place doesn't mean that leave your family. You are responsible, you have to do your duty, and with ananya yogena, with one pointed, with a full attention, you have to do prayers constant. It is also always Krishna. So that is again a qualification for liberation, for the knowledge. And last one is adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam एतज् ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानम यदोत अन्यथा. So Krishna says that whatever the 20 elements I have defined, that is what is knowledge. Apart from that, everything is agyan. Everything else is not knowledge. So what we define in the material world of with knowledge is not knowledge, because all that knowledge is going to entangle us in this material world. It will not let us be free from the material world. So the knowledge, the characteristics that Krishna, the elements of the knowledge that Krishna has defined, if someone can practice that, then what will happen? Will then the situation, the person can grow spiritually. Also, it's very, very important to understand that in the 11th stroke we talked about Mai Chanani Yogena. If by the grace of Guru, by the grace of you have actually got into the Ananya Yogena, into the Bhakti Marg, you are actually by doing the seva of Krishna one point with all devotion constantly, then automatically all these qualities will develop in the person. Whoever is actually engaged in the service of Krishna with full devotion constantly will automatically develop all these characteristics down the line. Yeah. So Krishna says that I define all this as the elements of Gyan. Yeah. So this is what, with this we'll end today's class. Let us chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna.